Hello everybody, Tyrone the God 3 here, and I wanted to do a discussion topic focusing more specifically on the new ending theme of Dragon Ball Super that came during episode 84. The title of this song is called Boogie Back, and it was sung by Miyu Inoue. Sorry if I botched her name. Now, why specifically am I talking about an ending theme? I mean, it's just an ending theme. It's something I usually bring up very briefly when I talk about my reviews, where I say, oh, and the ending theme changed. So what's the difference here? Well, the thing about this is Boogie Back to me has been very controversial to a lot of fans. Some people aren't digging the repetition of the music or even the change of pace, and they say it'll take a while for them to get used to. Something that's not surprising, because this usually happens with a lot of opening and ending themes that I watch in anime. I find myself liking a new opening when it comes out, or I may not like a new opening theme when it comes out, but then later as the opening thing keeps happening, I grow accustomed to it and I actually like it. And then by the time I actually do like it and I'm about to jam out to it, they change the opening theme again. Now I have to adjust. Or there's some that are just timeless. Some opening and ending themes that are just so good that the minute they change, you know they'll never live up to the expectation. I'm looking at you, Attack on Titans. Anyway, focusing on Boogie Back, why did I just want to make a discussion topic on this ending theme alone? Well, the thing about Boogie Back is, to me personally, I love it. I think it's one of the best ending themes in Dragon Ball Super, only being beaten by Light Pink, the third ending theme of Dragon Ball Super. But why do I like it so much? Well, to me, I feel that this ending theme is a really huge change of pace from all of the other Dragon Ball ending themes, and it definitely sets its segue to make it the change of being something that we're not quite used to. A lot of people have commented on Twitter that the theme of this ending theme feels really different, and it does. It's very rare that Dragon Ball of all series, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, or even GT, have been known to use very techno-like music when dealing with Dragon Ball. Yeah, techno music is used in Bruce Faulkner's mixes in Dragon Ball Z's base fighting, but I'm talking as an ending theme. This is a very rave-like, nightcore, very techno-esque theme, and it even reflects that upon the colors in the background. Now, this is me going all graphic designer on you guys for a second, but if you notice, the colors even here are very different. Normally in Dragon Ball endings, we know that everything's vibrant and bright. The characters are bright, the background is bright, the characters that are in the thing are bright. Goku himself wears orange and blue, very bright, contradicting colors that complement each other. Whereas other characters usually have very colorful hair. In fact, Dragon Ball Z is one of the starts of anime with characters that have very definably colorful hair. And the background usually reflects upon that as well. There's never a moment where the background doesn't have some bright blue morning sky on it. Even in Starry Star, where it's nighttime at first, but then later changes. This ending theme has a dark background, using darker colors in order to contrast against the bright, vibrant colors that the characters display when they're on screen. My one gripe about this ending is that each of the characters are only shown in stills and slide by and then go away, so they don't have any real animations with the exception of Goku clenching his fist for a second, and then Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta flying forward, with Goku flying forward on Super Saiyan Blue. But outside of that, you get to see that these characters are very definable. And this is not just in the ending theme, this is also within the series itself. As you noticed, as the Universal Survival arc has happened, the art style has made a bit of a change to make it a little more similar to that of Dragon Ball Z in its prime. What I mean by that is the art style has defined a lot of the characters so that Goku and Vegeta and Gohan and them look more like they do in the manga and in Dragon Ball Z rather than in Dragon Ball Super in recent sagas, more specifically talking about the Universe 6 saga backwards, from all the way to Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, where characters were just sort of drawn and that was about it. Vegeta and Goku's hairs were significantly shorter, but here it feels like these characters are very definable because they have heavy ink to outline them, and their very bright, vibrant colors are contrasting against the background to show them off, which makes sense. And Boogie Back definitely takes that and uses it to his advantage in combination with the techno-esque music, which is a nice change of pace because it gives a more darker feel. I also like the fact that it focuses on each of the characters and has them use various different emotions and looks that they normally wouldn't have in an ending. Now, if you're confused by exactly what I'm talking about, take a look at this picture right here with Goku. It's used in the ending. Now, what do you notice? Well, Goku looks serious. Yeah, there's moments where he looks serious in a lot of other Dragon Ball Super endings and Dragon Ball Z endings and Dragon Ball Kai endings. This isn't different. However, the feeling and emotion here is different, not just because Goku has a serious face on this time, it's because the background around him is taking a much darker tone. Normally when he has a serious face, it's usually reflected upon a very light and vibrant background in order to sort of cancel out the two, and it levels out the level of seriousness. But here, you definitely feel a much darker tone here. You feel that Goku is very serious about something. Even when Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta are flying forward, the background behind them isn't a bright, shiny morning sky. It's dark. It's very dark. The entire area is dark. And they're using these colors in this dark background in order to contrast against the very light and colorful, vibrant characters. I know I sound like I'm repeating myself here, but the fact of what I'm trying to say is that the reason that Boogie Back to me is so attractive as an ending theme is because it's using a combination of an art style as well as a different type of music in order to give us something new. It's almost like feeling a breath of fresh air to me in terms of Dragon Ball endings, just endings in general. I also do like the callbacks. What I mean by this is the callbacks are used as follows. Bulma is taking the time to reflect upon her past self. At first I thought it was Bulla that was being shown off, but that would have been impossible because she was just born. Then after I took a little bit of a look, I know that that's past Bulma, the Bulma that was in Dragon Ball. I know that Dragon Ball uses a lot of callbacks in terms of Dragon Ball Super using callbacks to Z and Dragon Ball to keep it alive, but here it's a lot more subtle. They only show 2 snippets of Dragon Ball stuff, the last being the picture with her, Krillin, and Goku. But it's more subtle here because much like in the Dragon Ball ending, Bulma is facing the rainy sky with the window reflecting upon her, just like used in Boogie Back. So it's a definite show of how Bulma's life is being reflected here as opposed to back then when it was the exact same way, only with a different group of friends and family who have grown up at this point. Like they're trying to show off that Bulma's life has parallels to it, both past and present. And I do love that this focus is primarily around Bulma. Normally, most Dragon Ball endings revolve around either Goku or Gohan. The reason of this being is because those are the 2 main characters. However, Bulma was originally a main character as well in the start of Dragon Ball. So to use her as the poster woman for this ending definitely changes the pace of it and definitely increases the seriousness of the situation. We get to see the things through her perspective and then see our characters that are competing in the tournament through their perspective as they do their things. It's a shift change, if you will. The atmosphere is completely different now. Goku doesn't feel like a primary and end-all be-all piece in this ending. Bulma is actually the one that holds more leverage here, and it definitely helps with the shift change of the ending. It's sort of like in Pokemon XY when Serena had her own ending, or when Clement had his own ending. It definitely shows that the focus has shifted, and because of that, it's a nice way to develop the characters, not just within the series, but within things like the ending and the opening as well. I'm sorry if this went on a lot longer than I wanted it to, but I just wanted to break down exactly what makes a good opening and a good ending and why Boogie Back has attracted me so much as an opening and ending. But what are your thoughts? Leave them in the comment section below. See you all then, everybody. Tyrone the Guy 3 out.